Hi, and welcome to this quick video tutorial on how to use HAL's new audio morphing software, Morphosis. Today we'll be working with the standalone version of Morphosis and the Ableton Live application. Morphosis is a neural timbre matching tool. It works with a library of hundreds of models, including voices, sound effects, and instruments, and applies their tonal characteristics to any incoming audio. Okay, let's start morphing. Today we'll be working with this track we've prepared in Ableton and using Morphosis to change up some things. Let's listen to the track first. So to use Morphosis with Ableton, it's really quite simple. I'm just gonna select any sample I want, go to Show in Finder, and this is where I've got all the samples for this track. So the kick, the drum kit, the hi-hat, the guitar, and the 3 layers of synth. And then it's as simple as a quick drag and drop right into Morphosis and select a model and you will get a sound. For instance, a drum rock kick. And now the model is loaded, I'm just going to listen to it right away. And then all I need to do, drag and drop from here, right back into Ableton, and I'm good to go. So if I listen to the kick as it was before, and then after, I'll get this. Then I'm good for the kick. The next step I want to work on is this drum loop. It sounds good, but I think it's missing a bit of something a bit more intriguing. So again, I can do reveal in Finder, drag and drop it right here, and then maybe look for something a bit weirder. Let's do a dog bark aggressively. That sounds weird. It sounds fun. I'm going to show you how the color knob works. So the color knob tells Morphosis, both for the input and the model, to either look in the low part of the frequencies, low part of the spectrum, or their higher frequencies. So between -100 and 0 is where I'm going to get more lows, but it's also kind of unpredictable, so we have to play around with it a bit. Okay, yeah, that sounds like a bit more of a big dog. So enhancing it will bring back some of that high end that might be lost in the process. Yeah, keep it a bit snappy. And then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to layer this into the drum loop. So using the mix knob to keep that original drum, but just bringing a bit of that bark. Yeah, that's a sweet spot. Okay, so then again, drag and drop right back into here. And again, I think I can get rid of the original loop. Let's listen to the drums first without Morphosis and then with. Yeah, so I'm getting that low end from the new like rock and roll kick and that weird dog bark, so happy with that. So the next step will be working with this hi-hat. I love using Morphosis to create weird additional sounds, and for this I think we're going to be working with the double model feature. So again, getting the hi-hat into Morphosis here, and well, we can listen what it does with a dog bark, but it's going to be weird. Okay, weird and fun, but not exactly what I'm going for. I think I'm gonna try and keep that sort of high-end percussive thing. Just I don't feel like a hi-hat today. So let's try and find something a bit different. Percussions, maybe something a bit classic. Oh, maracas. How's this sound? Back to 0 on that color. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is add a second model. This isn't parallel processing. When you have a second model, you have this fader right here, which is the model blend. So this merges between both models and, in a sense, creates a whole new model altogether. And what you're saying here is take more or less information from one model or the other. So for this, I think we can have fun with a few. I'm feeling footsteps because that's a little percussive and it can sound a bit weird. Let's try a few different ones. Maybe a bit of grass. So yeah, so grass is reacting a little too fast. And also I'm losing the kind of continuous instrument part of it I quite like. So let's see if I can get something different. Oh, now that I quite like. Let's go closer to maracas to get a bit more of that continuous thing. Yeah. That sounds right. Okay, and again, drag and drop into the interface. Okay, so that's already sounding a lot more interesting. So for this next step, I'm going to mute the synths we had and do something about the guitar. Okay, the line is fun. I'm feeling it's more of a bass line, so let's turn this guitar into a bass and see how that goes. So back to simple model, I think, for this. I'm going to explain a little bit about the pitch and auto feature. So the pitch is quite simple. It changes the pitch of the incoming signal, so whatever I've got charged in here, from -24 to +24 semitones. The auto feature is incredible. What it does is finds the best pitch to work with the model you want to work on, so it sounds the most natural. Of course, when we're working with music or anything harmonic, I want to be able to deactivate this and choose the pitch I'm working with. So either 0 if I want it to be exactly the same as the input, or maybe an octave higher or an octave lower, depending on what I'm doing. So for instance, in this case, if I'm transforming this guitar into a bass, for example, with a bit of grit, I'm going to have to go down an octave so it sounds good. So yeah, better as a bass. Okay, so let's listen to the full track as we are at the moment. This is going to sound a little weird, but I think I'm going to turn this synth into voices. Let's choose a voice. This is going to be, let's say this is going to be Lily. And I want this down an octave. See how that works. Yeah, that's exactly what I was looking for. Okay, this one goes right here. Synth 2 is going to be Claire. I think that one should be its own. Yeah, this should be fine. Okay, this one goes right here. And then for a bit of variation, I think we can go to Isaac. Isaac is fun. Lovely. Okay, so let's just hear the synths by themselves, before and after. Okay, that's weird, but I think with the rest of the track it's going to be interesting. That's exactly what I wanted. Okay, that was Morphosis. Now have fun and explore.